S-P-I-R-I-T, it's great to see we got it. The spirit, hey, hey, let's hear it.
I think it's very important that we, as artists, acknowledge our fans. I mean, a lot of people that you meet after you look up to them, you idolize them, it's a letdown because it's a business and everybody's kind of tired and a lot of people don't have the time. And that's why when I meet my friends, I try to be as attentive as I can, even if I'm exhausted, you know, because I know I don't want to give them that letdown.
This is the part of the show where we have three incredibly lucky fans of yours who are going to fulfill their ultimate dreams. Everybody, when they're driving in their cars singing Mariah, at home in the mirror singing Mariah. This time they're going to do it right here in front of you.
I know, but do I have to choose? Like, is
no,
it a
the audience will do it by applause.
Audience will, because you know, I don't like to do that kind of thing.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
It hurts me when I have to do this.
I'm sure it does, Mariah.
But you know what? It's also hard to get up in front of people and sing.
Yeah.
That's like very nerve-wracking, you know. So we have to appreciate that too. It takes a lot to get up in front of all the critics in the land. Yeah. Another thing that's sad about the business is that the entertainment business in general, we are looked at like we're not people, and you know, everybody has a comment, everybody has an issue, everybody has, you know, something to say, but if you were to trade places with that person and walk in their shoes, you might not have as much to say because you could sympathize that we are human.
You said I was a wayward child with the weight of the world that I held deep inside. I learned many things that little ones shouldn't know. Part of this had to do with your sister. It's on the record that when you were very young, she was on drugs. Yes? Okay. That she was a prostitute? You must have known this. What was it like for a little girl?
It was a very difficult thing to see. But I think what it did for me was provide me with an inner strength and something I knew that I didn't want to be. That's why I will never be a promiscuous person. I will never be on drugs. I'll never be too out of it to know what I'm doing or getting myself into. And because I saw these things growing up, I went the other way. It's a very busy time. It's a time when I don't even really have enough time to determine whether or not it's a good time, but I always try to make the best of things. I'm very much an optimist, so I really don't like to dwell on, you know, if whatever's going on, if it's a time of really intense work or, you know, if it's like all play, which it never usually is, but I try to make the best of whatever situation.
Well, you had a tough childhood. I mean, you came from a biracial family. Your dad was African-American, your mom white, and you suffered a lot of racism growing up among neighborhood kids. And you also had a sister who got involved with drugs and prostitution, and your dad left when you were a little girl. A lot of heavy things to deal with. How did those things shape who you are today, Mariah?
Well, I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds very severe, and some of the things it's hard for me to comment on or get too specific about, because I don't want to look like I'm trying to capitalize on that in order to make myself into, oh, woe is me, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's like I had difficulties in growing up, and I also had, you know, I was very fortunate to have a lot of good things. You know, life could have been a lot worse. It is a lot worse for a lot of people, and anything that I overcame, you know, I attribute that to, like, my belief in God and to my mother, who was very supportive of me, and to the gift of being able to sing. So, you know, I mean, first of all, who is completely happy? I mean, we all have our days, our up days and our down days. Like, I don't think anybody's 100% happy all the time. I just meant that personally, I think because I put so much into my career from such an early age that I really didn't have a chance to, like, maybe relax as much as some people or enjoy certain aspects of growing up, but that's life, you know, you give and take things, so.
First of all, if anybody who knows anything about this industry and any of the other artists in this industry thinks I'm difficult, then they don't know anything about anybody in this industry, because comparatively speaking, I mean, my life in and of itself is complicated, but me as a person, I'm not a difficult person to deal with. I know what I want, I know how I want things, but I don't treat people who work for me or who work with me like dirt. Like, I've seen a lot of people treat people who work for them like, you know, you're a peon, you know, and that's, to me, that's just unacceptable behavior. That's, you know, maybe because I know what it's like to come from, you know, I wasn't born into this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up, I struggled as a little kid, you know, I saw my mom work 2 jobs, you know, and And I don't take anything for granted. So if people think I'm difficult, then they should go spend a day in the life of some other people I know. The thing about it is, the person that is now, you know, seen on TV and speaking in interviews is who I've always been. But in the past, I was always made to feel kind of paranoid that if I had too much of a personality, or if I looked too, I don't know, sexy or whatever you want to call it in videos, or provocative, whatever, you know, that it would be threatening to people. And, you know, if my songs were too much to the left of center, you know, that it wasn't going to be acceptable to the masses. And I just, you know, I got to a place in my life where it was like, look, this is what I want to do, this is who I am. Not that I look back and say, you know, I hate this, or that wasn't me, that's another part of me. But now I'm just able to show other sides of who I am. You know, I have a personality. I'm not just like a doll that sits on stage and sings, you know. I'm blessed to have what I have, so I can't look at the negative things and be like, woe is me, you know. That's tough, you know. With what I have come another set of problems, you know. With everything I have, you know, there's a certain price to pay, so what can you do?
Nothing, just
keep it moving.